Hello, welcome back to this video series on research methods and writing. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about theoretical research examples. In my previous video, I went through a number of examples of kind of qualitative and quantitative research and such. I didn't have any theoretical examples of theoretical research. So let me go through a few. Math, of course, math research tends to be pretty technical and theoretical, where you have some kind of a math proposition to prove, and you go through a lot of theoretical mathematical proofs. If you look at math papers, I proofread one once. It was quite interesting read. It's something I've never read before. It's basically mathematical proofs. It's kind of theoretical, although kind of different because it's math. Okay, philosophy is the most typical example that comes to mind. Let's say in philosophy, you might do research on a particular philosophical question, maybe by, in your research, posing a hypothetical question. What would happen if? And using, say, different kinds of theoretical arguments and theories in your particular field of philosophy to explore different possibilities and arrive maybe at what's the best answer, the best solution to this problem. Hypothetical questions, hypothetical problems, hypothetical situations. That's often the stuff of philosophy. It sounds theoretical, but it has value. For example, when it comes to a number of questions about law or the role of science in society, legal, moral, ethical issues, we really turn to philosophy and philosophical arguments for guidance, whether you realize it or not. Linguistics. I've talked some about linguistic theory. Let's give an example. I'll give you a really old example. This is kind of an exercise I had to do in a graduate course in syntax. It gives you an idea of what theoretical research is like. In this assignment, we were to prove that there is inserted in. Can we explain what I mean? Let's take a sentence like this. Hey, there's a unicorn in my garden. So according to generative grammar, especially some of the older versions of generative grammar theory, a sentence has kind of an underlying or abstract base form behind it, and then certain kinds of transformations or changes that it goes through before it comes out of your mouth. And this is all based on ideas of abstract structure in sentences that you're not consciously aware of. So the idea here in especially older versions of the theory is that, say, a sentence like, there's a unicorn in my garden, comes from or derives from somehow a base form. And the base sentence that's kind of first exists in your mind is, a unicorn is in my garden. In that certain changes or derivations or transformations happen, there is inserted and the is moved in front of the subject. And the theory kind of provides certain tools, like how would you prove something? According to the theory, I can look at different versions of this sentence and similar sentences and kind of identify certain patterns that, according to the theory, would indicate that there is some process or transformation involved from some sort of a base form or an abstract form to the actual form that, comes out of the mouth. The theory provides certain methods for identifying patterns, which I don't think I will get into here, but it kind of says, okay, you can find other structures where something similar happens and say, well, based on that, we can then conclude that there is inserted by some kind of transformation. Well, that's a very old example, but that gives you an idea, a flavor of theoretical linguistics arguments. Or you could come up with sentences and say, let's say in English, this is a possible sentence. I can say, there is a unicorn in my garden. But I could say, there is a unicorn. You could, but it sounds a little awkward. It's not really wrong, but it sounds awkward. There is a unicorn. It sounds funny. Why does it sound funny? Okay. Or certain things would just be incorrect. Their unicorn is in my garden. That is just ungrammatical. English speakers wouldn't say it unless you're drunk or something. Okay, so based on things like that, what do speakers consider acceptable in their language? What do they consider unacceptable? Like, that doesn't make sense, you can't say that. Or what sounds comprehensible but weird? Like, there is a unicorn. Okay, you can make arguments for certain kinds of abstract structures or movements or changes in the sentences. That is sort of the nature of theoretical research in, say, linguistics. Arguments based on what is possible in the language and identifying patterns. So those are examples of theoretical research, particularly in philosophy and theoretical linguistics. And that's quite different from, say, other areas of linguistics where they would say, we need proof, we need empirical evidence. And sometimes linguists actually do have arguments about what constitutes good evidence and argumentation. Theoretical linguists will say, this is good enough, and other linguists will say, no, you need empirical evidence. You need to test it quantitatively and scientifically. Okay, different perspectives. So I hope that helps you understand linguistics a little bit, or understand theoretical research if you are dealing with theoretical research for your college papers. That's it for now. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.